Good morning, everyone. Jamie here. Welcome back to my garden. I am over in the orchard today, and I am planning to plant a very, very special tree that I've been looking forward to planting for a couple months now. And that tree is my Deodar Cedar. Hopefully you can see the shadows are not very good over here at this time in the morning. And it is a beautiful sunny day. There's some clouds over there, but the clouds go that way. So I don't have to worry about any clouds today. I'm so happy to have some sun, and I'm sure the cedar is happy to have some sun and happy to get planted. There you can see another view of the cedar right over there. So the big reason for the cedar is this pole right here. So eventually, I mean, it's going to take some years. This cedar is going to grow up and it's going to kind of mask that pole. The cedar can get around 40 to 50 feet tall. It can get 10 to 20 feet wide. I have just always had a thing for these deodar cedars. On the way to my parents' house, when you drive up, they live on a hill, and when you drive up their driveway, one of their neighbors has one of these cedars, and I've watched it grow over the years, and every time I drive by, I just look at it and say, that's the most beautiful tree I've ever seen, and it really, really is beautiful. It has this weeping habit. It has these icy blue needles that are they're soft. They're not pokey. To me, it's just the most beautiful, beautiful tree. And I'm so happy to have it in my garden. And it's pretty, I don't know if it's native to my area. Let me check. Hold on. Okay, I just looked it up. It is not native to California. It's native to like northern India, Pakistan, that area, Afghanistan. But it is known as a California heritage tree, a big heritage tree, meaning that it's had a long history of being planted in California. And there's actually one in Sacramento, a Sacramento park, that is has this special qualification as one of like the big trees because it's like 100 feet tall and it's like this big, beautiful specimen. So they're basically, what I'm saying is they're really good trees for my area. So I am super excited to get it in here. I think it's going to be the perfect match for this spot, especially because it can block that thing. So today it's about the second week of February, and my goal for this property for 2024 is to have all the big, messy projects done by the end of February. So starting March, I can start planting, I can start making everything look pretty, and I can really focus on gardening basically. And I'm not going to be able to finish all the messy projects, case in point over here, but I have to put a stop on it at some point during the season, or my garden is just going to be a complete mess for the whole season. And I don't want that. I've been spending the past couple months kind of tearing everything apart and doing like the groundwork basically. And now I want to start doing some pretty work. So first of all, we've decided we're going to kind of grade this, and maybe I might put wood chips on it, but we're going to leave this for next year because it's just a really, really, really big project, and the budget, all that kind of stuff, time and energy, planting, it was just too much. So what I want to do, and I wanted to say, I've had a whole bunch of people ask me about this propane tank when we're moving it. First of all, since we're not focusing on Center Island this year, there's no rush. But the other thing is, we were so shocked at the quotes that we were getting for moving it. The amount of money that it's going to cost to move it is it's just insane. It's incredible. So it's really not in the budget right now. I mean, we could make it work, but especially since we're not working on this area this season, we figure we're just going to leave it and wait. So it's not getting moved now, which I know is such a bummer because it's like front and center and right in front of our house. But we can't do everything the first years. Unfortunately, I wish I want to, but we just can't. So what we're going to focus on is we're going to focus on the orchard over here. We're going to focus on the courtyard and the zigzag planter in front of the house, the shade garden, and then of course the backyard. So I think that that's going to be pretty good. I'm going to have my work cut out for me for planting and all that kind of stuff, but I'm really excited about it. And I'm just kind of trying to limit where I'm making my mess, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So Isaac and Milo are coming today. They're gonna start working on digging out the area right in front of the espalier for the pathways, and then hopefully in the next week or so we can get the gravel in here to finish up the pathway. I do have to rent like this big plate compactor, because when you put DG down, you have to compact it, and I only want to rent it for one day. So I want to have everything kind of done and ready first before we get the rocks in and before I rent that. So I'm just trying to time it right, basically. But my point for telling you all this is over here where I'm going to be working today. You can see I have the flags out, laid out where we were going to put the pathway. But what I've decided is this edge right metal edging, it's so easy to move, and it's so versatile that I think what I'm just going to do is I'm going to bring it up here for this season. We're going to finish the gravel pathway right here, and I'm just going to kind of plant this area up with the idea that there's eventually going to be a pathway in there, but I don't think I'm going to put the pathway there this year. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to take out all these flags, kind of weed the area, make it look nice, obviously pick up all the limes and all that kind of stuff. I did want to tell you, I did contact the people that could come and harvest the oranges for the food bank, and they haven't gotten back to me yet. So I have to keep contacting them, but it's time to harvest oranges, so I might just end up harvesting them myself. So anyway, I want to kind of wrap this area up, make it look nice, plant the cedar, eventually get this pathway done right here this month, and then then things can actually start looking nice in my garden, and it doesn't have to be a mess, like piles of gravel and all this stuff all over the place. So I'm pretty excited about that, because I'm ready for some pretty, I guess. So right now I'm gonna start with cleaning up, taking down the flags, cleaning up the limes, doing a little bit of weeding. The weeds are, I need to stay on top of the weeds, especially in this orchard right here, because we have compost down and we have no mulch over it. And that is just a recipe for disaster with weeds. So I just have to stay really on top of it. I'm just using my hoe and just cutting them off, cutting their little heads off, and then just staying on top of it as much as I can. I need to get mulch in here. I've decided to go with wood chips for mulch because one, it's the healthiest thing you can do for your garden. It is absolutely the best choice that you can do for your garden and your soil. And this soil, my garden needs as much help as it can get at this point. And I think the color of the wood chips, I think it'll look really, really nice with the DG and, the colors that I'm going for in my garden. And it's free. So, so I've already contacted the arborist, and I'm on the list for chip drops. So I just kind of have to wait for that. So I'm going to clean up, I'm going to weed, and then I'm going to measure out, and I'm going to find the exact perfect spot for my cedar. All done. I picked up all the limes. I did a bunch of weeding. It's not perfect, but I'm not expecting it to be perfect. I'm just trying to stay on top of it, which is kind of the motto for myself with weeds in this property until I can get everything kind of buttoned up with mulch and everything like that. I'm just trying to stay on top of it so it doesn't get out of control. And so far it's been pretty good. I've been happy with what I've been able to do. You all saw my very special way of measuring where the tree's going to go. The Deodar Cedar gets about 10 to 20 foot wide. So I measured it out. The utility pole sits about 5 feet outside of my fence. So I measured like a 10-foot radius all around, and so there's plenty of room for this cedar to grow as tall as it needs to be without getting anywhere near the pole, because the cedar does have a pyramidal shape at the top. It's very, very pretty. I'm so excited for it. So I do have my big auger. When you plant trees, you don't want to dig any deeper than the bucket that the tree's in right now, but you do want to dig about 2 to 3 feet wider. And I am not going to amend it with anything other than the compost that's already on top of the soil, because you want the roots of a new tree to go out into the native soil as quickly as possible so it's nice and secure in the ground. I did want to point out my special cedar has a little bit of a crook in it, which I actually love. I love how it looks. Let me show you. So can you all see that? I think this is the best way you can see it. Here's the bucket, and then it's a little bit of a curve that way, which honestly, nothing in my garden is perfect. I was at the garden center and I was thinking, oh, should I wait and try and find a perfect one that's perfectly straight? And no, like I said, nothing in my garden is perfect. It's nice and it's sturdy and it's strong, and I think it just gives it a little bit of character. So I'm going to dig the hole, and then I'm going to put it in, and then I'll turn it around a little bit and see what the best angle is for the tree to make it look as nice as possible. I'll probably have it curving out this way towards the driveway, just so that it's not curving towards that way. But I think once I get it in the hole, like the top is perfectly straight, it looks really, really good. So I think it's not going to be an issue. I just do want to point that out just in case all of you think that your eyes are going cross-eyed. Yes, it does have a little lean to it. And I just noticed this tree is all budded up with little pink buds. They are, oh my goodness, I bet you they start blooming in a day or so. Look at that. Oh, I'm so excited. I think it's an almond tree. I don't know, but I think it's an almond tree. The reason why I say that is because we have a lot of almond orchards around here, and there's one just down the street, and the buds on those trees, they're a little bit further ahead than this tree, but they've got those pink buds almost ready to just explode. And almond blossom season around here is, it's magical. Monty is very interested in the hole that I'm digging. Do not fill that in, Monty. Monty. Get out. And then I took the can off, or the bucket off of the tree, so I could take a really good look at the root system. And the root system looks really good. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for any signs of the roots like crossing each other, spiraling, or just not looking good. And if it was like that, then I would kind of tease them apart a little bit more. I kind of just scratched it a little bit. You can see kind of the residue after me scratching it. But I think that this root system looks really good, and I think it's ready to go in the hole so that Monty stops messing with it. Monty likes it. I definitely like it. So I tried to get it as straight as I could, even with the lean. It is leaning out towards us. One thing that's really funny is look at the color of the tree where it's gotten wet on the bottom versus on the top where it's dry. I didn't know that it changed colors like that when it got wet, but kind of neat, huh? So this is the wet color, and then this blue-green is the dry color. I have already watered it in to make sure I didn't have any air pockets under there. You all saw I did have to pull it out one more time because I needed the hole just a couple inches deeper. So I just pulled it out, dug it a little bit deeper, and then it ended up being in the perfect spot. You can see right there. Here's the root ball, and then here's my soil level. So it's about an inch difference, so that when I come in with mulch is going to make the difference, and then this tree is not going to have water sitting around it, because I think I forgot to tell you all, but the one thing that deodar cedars don't like is they don't like having wet roots. They don't like sitting in water. They need really good drainage. So planting it just a little bit higher, like you would do a butterfly bush, is exactly what I was going for this tree. Here's another look a little bit further back. I just think it is the most majestic, beautiful tree. I just love it so much. And like I said, I've been admiring my parents' neighbor's tree for years now. So I'm confident that I'm going to enjoy this tree. I just think it's so pretty. So it is, once it gets established, so, remember, sleep, creep, leap. Plants they'll sleep the first year, they'll grow a little bit the second year, but by the third year, they will be growing really well. So by the third year, this tree should be growing 2 to 3 feet per season, which makes it a pretty fast grower for a tree. So in a couple years, I should have a pretty good sized specimen right there. And for now, I can appreciate its weeping form, its color. It's beautiful. I love it so much. And the last thing I wanted to say about deodar cedars is that they are relatively drought tolerant once established. So once its root system develops and it spreads out and it's able to bring in the water that it does need, I won't have to worry about it. I won't have to water it. So my plan is for this season, I'm going to hook it up to a drip. Next season, it's going to be hooked up to drip. And then the third season, I'm going to take it off drip and just let it be. And by then, the root system should be developed enough that it should be able to absorb as much water as it needs. Plus, there's going to be plantings around here, so it will get plenty of water. So that's another plus for these deodar cedars. So I am so happy. I love it so much. I've been waiting to get this plant in, and I'm so happy with it. I do want to say, the Michael Glassman design, when we had initially talked about it, we had planned for 2 of these, one there and one a little bit closer over here. And I've decided just to go with one because I just think that they're going to get big, and I'm happy with it. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful specimen tree. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.